the notebook, I think we can do a quick recap for those who were not here yesterday. Now, I'm assuming that you have some skills on MySQL because I don't want to waste time on that. I want us to begin straight away the MCQ, that project. So allow me just to open this MySQL notebook and then we shall begin. Let me first of all delete this database because also some people have been asking about how to install, how to import this database to MySQL Workbench. So I'll just drop it so that you may also understand how to do that. And the project that we are using is this ALX. Let me get there. Module 1 overview, and then this zip file. Let me download. Then so basically we are using these files here. Let me just copy and place it somewhere like on desktop. So to import that database, you click on this second icon here. These are open a SQL script file in a new query tab. So you can just click here or wherever here to open a script file. Let me use this option here. Then you can select where your database is. So I saved it here on the desktop, and then so the file here is md underscore services. It has the extension .sql. So for example, if you are on Windows and you are unsure about the extension, so let me get to the desktop. If you are unsure about the extension, remember the extension should be SQL, structure query language here. This extension .sql. Perhaps if it doesn't show, go to the views and then ensure that this file name extension is checked. You can see like this, you can detect if it's a SQL script or if it's a PDF or what. So ensure that it is checked like this so that you can be able to see the extension here at the end. So a database, it usually have the extension .sql. So I'm using this md underscore what underscore services.sql. Then I'll open it. And then so you just run everything here and then it will import this database to this MySQL Workbench. So use this flash icon here to run everything. So when you see these ticks here, just know that it's successful. When you refresh here, then you'll find out that that database is imported to this MySQL Workbench. Let me try to do so. And then you can see now we have this database here. And then yeah, everything is fine. And then if I can try to close these other tabs so that we may have enough workspace here. Yeah, so we can say, for example, use this database, and then so you can as well do the short. Is it short tables? Short tables, right? What's the command? Is it short tables?
Yes, short tables.
Yeah. And I think it's underlining some error, some show is not a valid position. These are short tables. I think there's a comma here, or there's a semicolon, I guess. Then let me try to run. Yeah, so you can see we have these tables here: data, dictionary, employee. Then this other one. So I want to show you how you can use the Jupyter notebook. And so in that case, you have to use the Anaconda environment. It usually come with these notebooks. Remember, you can as well use Jupyter. You can just download Jupyter and use it an independent item. But that one is not advised because Anaconda, it usually comes with everything, especially for data science modules. So you don't have to install these to do the PIP install. this single file. And then also the goodness with Anaconda, you can work on a virtual environment. Remember, like sometimes there might be some incompatibility issues. For example, you are running a project that requires Python, let's say version um, I don't know which is the latest version, and then the other one is running on a different version. So when you are working on the same system, it might crash or there might be some incompatibility issues there. So this Anaconda allow us to work on different environments. And when you just download and launch Anaconda environment, Anaconda Navigator, when you download and install Anaconda and you launch that Anaconda Navigator, you will have this interface. So by default, the main environment, it will be base or a root. So this one will take, it will be like the system. So it will detect everything that is installed in your system, then it will display here. So like you can see, because in my system I have Visual Studio Code, you can see I just have to launch it, then other steps. But if you want to work on a different environment, you can just click here, go to the environment, then you can click here, and then you can create the environment. So the new environment, you can give it a name. Like for example, this one I can give it any name, like a SQL project, or any name, SQL project. Then you can choose the interpreter here. You can choose a Python version you wish to use. So I think the one which it usually is selected by default, I think that one is the most recommended one. Remember, at the moment the latest one is at 3.12, but sometimes it's not compatible with other modules. So you use the one which is selected by default, so that you may be able to work with other modules. And then when you click on create, then it may take some time, and then it will create that environment for us. So let me just give it some seconds. As it does that, I can try to talk about something on the Jupyter Notebook. So Jupyter Notebook is mostly for Python projects or R. You saw there was only two options for Python and the R. So if you want to use external languages, like for instance SQL, then you'll have to use magic commands. And what are magic commands? So magic commands, these are like special commands that provides additional functionality and control over the notebook's environment. So the magic commands are not part of standard Python or R, but they are just specific to Jupyter Notebook and IPython. Remember, we shall use IPython here. IPython is an interactive Python shell. So I think it has already completed. So magic commands are preceded by one or two percentages, which I shall show you when we are on notebook. So there are some things that you need to install for you to be able to work with this SQL on the notebook. So you need to install something called PyMySQL, and always ensure that all is selected, so that you may be able to see the list of these dependencies. So ensure that this one is checked, so that it's selected. And then the other thing we need is IPython SQL. IPython SQL. I say that this IPython is like an interactive Python shell. When it is with the extension .sql, then it will mean that it will be specifically for this SQL project. So ensure that you have this one, and then what else? So and then the other thing, you need to have this MySQL in your system, and then this MySQL Workbench, because we'll link these two programs together. So once it is selected, you can click on apply. of course, there are also other stuffs that we shall install, like the SQL Alchemy. And remember now, by default, when you install it on this environment, it will install the latest version. And remember, sometimes the latest version, sometimes it usually have the incompatibility issues. Doesn't work well with other modules. So you have to use the one which is stable version of that module. So here, when you install it, it will install the latest version. So we'll have to install it on the notebook, so that we may install, because on the notebook you can specify the version. Or if you're using the command line tool, like a command prompt, you're able now to specify the version, because when you install SQL Alchemy here, it will install the latest, and you don't want that, because it won't work well with these modules here. So we'll have to specify. I'm doing this as I wait for it to finish. My computer is always slow. That's why we wanted someone whose computer is stable to project for us, but in that case, let's just wait for it to finish. Yeah, it's done. I think today is a bit faster. Now, to install, now the other thing, we need to install the Jupyter Notebook. Now, this is like the code editor, or the IDE for mostly for Python, or when you use the magic commands, you can as well work on other stuff like SQL. So it is Notebook. Just search for Notebook. Just search for Notebook, and then you'll here it is, Jupyter Notebook. Jupyter Notebook, and then you can click on Apply, or you can go to the home. Oh, so let me wait for it. But for our case, I'm just doing it for those who are asking, but it is much easier to work with the MySQL Workbench on this project. MySQL Workbench, I think for me it is quite easy. But I just want to show people how they can as well use the notebook. As I wait for that to finish, now in the future, you'll have to place your project in a particular folder, because sometimes when you want to import a file and it is in a different folder, then you'll have to specify the path, and it can take you time. So it's a good practice to find a particular directory. You can create just a new file. For example, for me, I just gave it data science, so that you ensure that whenever that Jupyter notebook is, that's where you have those files, like these other stuffs, like databases and other stuffs. For example, you want to import the CSV file and all that. They should be in the same directory, so that you may just use the name instead of typing the path. For example, you want to access the path and then you copy the path, you'll find out that it's a long name. Let me just paste somewhere. In fact, yeah, so you can see it's something very, very long to specify the path. So when it is in the same directory, just specify the name. That is much easier. So I think it's done. So you could install it on this other end, or you can go to the home, then find notebook. Then if it won't be installed, it could be there will be an option to install. So you can as well install it via this front end here, this page. And then you ensure that the virtual environment is selected. This one that I've just created is a SQL project. You ensure that it is the one which is selected here, or it's selected here. Then you can click on this run button. Then you can run with Jupyter Notebook. So this option will only appear if you have installed the Jupyter Notebook here. So let me open it. Yeah, so it is opened, and I say that it's a good practice to place your Jupyter notebook in a particular directory so that you may access everything quite easily. Like for me, it was the documents, and then data science, and then we can create a new notebook by clicking on this new icon. Then I were using this Python 3 IPy kernel here. So when you click on it, it will create a new notebook. Then you can rename. Let me call it SQL projects. And this is just a title. You can give it any title. And then now, before we begin, we say that most of the time this Jupyter Notebook, it is supported for Python. So for example, you can you can create a variable and then say, for example, X, you give it something like 100, then Y, you give it something like, let's say 20, then you can just execute it by the print function, and then say, now it says Z, for example, let me say Z to be something like X plus y, then here you just pass here Z. So these are just Python codes, Z here. So this will just be Python code. So this one is mostly for Python. So if you want to use a SQL here, then you have to use the magic commands, and we talked about the magic commands. And so I said that there's something that we need to use for it to work here. We need to install the SQL Alchemy. And then the SQL Alchemy. So the dependencies here are the Py. It was a Py MySQL, and then the other one it was IPython, and then it was a SQL extension. And then the other thing we said that you need to have also what was it? The SQL Alchemy. And then you need also to have the now this PyMySQL, this one help us to establish connection between Python and then MySQL, which I'll show you that in a few. And then also you need to have MySQL also installed in your system, and then a workbench, MySQL workbench. Yeah, MySQL workbench. I'm not sure if there's a spelling. I don't know if I've omitted something. Remember, if you don't have everything, then it won't. Now the best way, the best way to get the comments, comment they usually help the coder to write some notes, so that they may not execute it. So if you are unsure about which codes or a comments to use, for example, for Python, it has its way to use the code or to define the comments. Then a SQL has its way to define the comments, and other languages have their way to define their comments. But if you are working on the IDE like Visual Studio Code or this notebook, you can just select everything, and then you click on Control, then at the /. Sorry, I think it doesn't apply here on a notebook, but on Visual Studio Code it does. So, but for Python, it usually uses the hash to define a comment. You use a hash to define a comment. So this one just help developers to identify that this part is a code. It won't be executed. And in SQL, we use two hyphens. In SQL, we use two hyphens. Remember now, when you use the two hyphens here, it won't work. It won't be considered as a comment. So remember, this notebook is strictly for Python. So if you want to use now, the SQL here, you have to run to first of all install this SQL Alchemy. So we use PIP. PIP is the package manager. If you want to install any package, Python package, you have to use the PIP. This is the package manager to install or to uninstall packages. For example, Node, it has its package manager to install its dependencies. For example, if you want to use React, you'll use a npm Node package manager, or other languages. They have their package manager, but for Python, it is a PIP. So pip install SQL Alchemy. Now, if you don't specify the version, SQL Alchemy, if you don't specify the version, then it will install the latest version here for you. And perhaps the latest version is not compatible with the other modules. So you have to specify. Like the one that works well with this project, it is version 1. It is a version. So to specify the version, you use these two equal operator, the equal operators, and then you can specify the version 1.4, 1.4.4, 1.4.4. And then when you run, so it is PIP. There's an invalid syntax here. Let me use it on a different line of code, and then pip install. Who can tell us what's the problem here?
You haven't put the magic lines.
Oh, by the way, I forgot that. So let me just create a new set. Thank you so much for that. So basically, to define that you're working with SQL here, you can as well use this command. I think it is a percentage, and then load underscore extension of SQL. Let me run and see. Yeah, so it is running. When you don't see the error, let's wait for the error. I think 1 minute or some seconds. So if the error won't appear here, then it will mean that you have this PyMySQL. PyMySQL is there, and then I have other packages. So let me try to run here again. Yeah, so with it works. So let's wait for it to install. Now remember, when you run this one on the main system, on the command line tool, it will install it on the operating system. When you just type for pip install SQL Alchemy, Alchemy. This one will install system wide, but this one it will install in the virtual environment. When you use, remember, this notebook is for that environment that we just created, but when you install it here, it will install system wide. So this is the goodness of working with the environment. These are Anaconda environment. You just specify the name, and we just specify the version, so it doesn't have any issue. So yeah, so it is installed. So now you're able to establish the connection. How do you establish the connection? Always ensure that you begin with these magic commands, SQL, and then so to establish the connection now between this Jupyter Notebook and MySQL. So you type MySQL and then plus PyMySQL, PyMySQL, and then you will define now the username. This is the syntax. Username, and then followed by a colon, then password, and then after the password, you define now the host name. I guess if I'm not host name, then the port number. Host name, remember, is like at the endpoint. Then the port. The port for MySQL, it's most, or let me just first of all write the syntax. You define the port, then at the /, then at the DB name, DB underscore name. So this is the syntax. Let me make it a comment. I don't know. So here it is. This is Jupyter Notebook. So I'll have to use the Python way. You begin with a hash to make it a comment, so that it won't be executed. Remember, in SQL, on this other end, but I think here it will work. So for example, if you want to make a multi-line comment, you can just select everything, then click on control, then at the /. It will make everything a comment. Control or a command, then at the /. it will make everything a comment, and then control, then the forward slash will undo the comment. But on a notebook, I guess it fails. So what was I saying? So this is the syntax. How do you get this information? This username, this password, this host name. So when you just launch this Jupyter Notebook, you'll specify the information here, or you can, if you have already configured everything, you can just click here. Then you can specify. For example, we are using, I think I'm using Explorer I connection. I think I'm using this one. Let me just, yeah, I'm using this one. So you ensure that you are the connection which is running. Then you click on these settings. Then you select that that connection, and then you'll find the host name here. Then the port name here. Then the password is the password that you use to set up your server. So I think the username is root. Then I remember this one is the alias. For those who are here present with yesterday, we talked about these IP address and also the alias for these IP addresses. So this 127.0.0.1, a local host is an alias for this one. So you'll have to use now the local host. And then so just to test the connection, you can try to type here your password. I just use a simple one like an mtech. But for you on your end, especially if you're working on something for production, ensure that you use a strong password. But this one is an open source. So just to ensure that, remember, if you use a password which can't open this one, then automatically it won't work also on notebook. So you test, and you'll be sure that everything is okay. So now to our notebook. Here, let me just copy once again, and then I'll paste it here. So username, it was root on my end, root. Then a password, I used nametech. But for you, use your password. Then the host name, you can use that 127.0. whatever, or alternatively you can just say local host. Remember, local host is the same as that 127.0.0.1. 0.0. Let me try to do that today so that you may understand how it works. Let me open just a project, a React project or a Django project here. Let me so that you may understand this stuff. Web projects, and then let me just use a simple one. This is the YouTube videos projects. So Django photo portfolio. Let me use this one. I just want to illustrate the connection or the link between that 127 and the local host. So let me just use OpenUnity code and try to show you. Let me try to show you just how this thing work. So I'll run the script. You don't have to do this. I just want to illustrate for illustration purposes, so that you may understand where that local host comes from. So env cd env, then /scripts. So the /scripts /activate, sorry, let me use a command prompt, env /scripts. But then you can as well use the cd. I think this one applies on all. If you want to change directory, you can just use the cd, and that's the shortcut to change the directory, so that you may navigate to different directory quite easily. To create a folder on command line, you can just use make, but I think that one is not necessary for now. So let me just scripts, then activate, and then just a minute. Python manage.py run server. So you can see here the link is 127.0.0.1. Then at the port number here it is 8000. So let me just open this one. So you can see this project is opened with this URL here 127.0.0.1. Remember this the alias for localhost. Now I want to open this project, the same project, on a different on a different browser or on a different tab with the local host. Remember the port number should be the same. So let me use a local host port. The port was 8000, right? 8000. So when I'll hit enter, you'll find out that it will open that project still. So you can see it still open that project. So localhost and that 127.0.0.1 is the alias. This localhost is the alias for the other one. So this was just by the way to make you understand where this localhost stuff comes from. So yeah, so just this was just by the way. I don't know if it was necessary, but I wanted to illustrate with something for people to understand where that connection comes from. So the local host is the alias for 127, this part. And this part, this 127.0.0.1, then at the port number should be the same. So the port number, it doesn't have the alias. So you don't have the alias for port number. So port number you just specify here. For MySQL, I think most of the time is, it is what? What was the port number? I haven't forgotten. It is 1306. 1306. I think I've crammed that one. 1306. So it must be
3306.
yes.
3306.
33.
Oh, yes. Thank you so much for that. 3306. And then the database name. And the database name it is here. Let me just the database name. By the way, I think I've opened a wrong database. It should be Unite. Oh yeah, it is this one. I think it is this one. Yeah, I was confused thinking that it was a United Nations. I think it was for the other project. So let me just copy the database name, then paste it here. Where is it? Here. So this part for DB name, you type that, you paste that database name. So when everything is okay, it will mean that when you run and you see there's no error, it will mean that now there will be a connection between these MySQL, this notebook and that MySQL whatever. So let me run, and so there's an error here. Indentation error. Oh, there's an indentation here. So let me try to remove and rerun again. Connection info, SQL Alchemy, password, checking. So so ensure that everything is okay. I think perhaps there's a problem somewhere, or this one didn't work well. This one is installed. That one is this PHP MySQL Alchemy is installed, and then but there I had to restart the kernel, I think, for it to work. So most of the time when you install something here, you have to restart this thing for it to work. So let me try to restart and see if it will work. I think it is done. Then let me try to rerun again. Oh, so once again, when you restart, you have to load again this first line of code here. You have to load And then so once you load it, you can again now run this second part. Then now you can see now the connection is established. When it says connected, it will mean that this Jupyter Notebook, it is now connected to that database. And then now you can begin to write your queries in the Jupyter Notebook. Let me try to copy something here and show you how you can do it. How you can let me use anything here. Let me just use anything. Let me copy this code to see if it can pull data. So you can see now we have some employee assigned unique ID and all that. So I will try to see if it will display the same things on the Jupyter Notebook, just to see if the connection is established. But now remember the difference, the codes might be the same, but what you need to put into consideration is that you have to begin with the magic command for it to work. Now in this second line, you have to use these two modulars here, these two what? Is it percent? These two things. And then you say SQL like that for it to work. So to define that, you're using magic commands. Remember I said earlier that this Jupyter Notebook is strictly for Python. Remember we use Python is our interpreter. So it will be like the notebook or the IDE for Python. So it will only consider, it will assume that every code here is Python. But when you use now the magic commands will now translate these code, the SQL code, so that Jupyter Notebook can know that you are running the SQL code here, so for it to work. Otherwise, let me try to make it a comment, you'll see that you'll have an error if you don't have this line of code. Let me run, and then you can see now the syntax error. But now when you run this way, and then you can see now we have these now by the way, before you do anything, I said that sometimes you might have millions of records. So to load everything, it can be quite hectic, or even your system can crash. So always ensure by the way, even before you do anything, you add the limit. Otherwise your computer might crash. Use this limit, and you can limit to some values, like let's say even 20 or whichever. And then I remember always to close the SQL statements with a semicolon, though it's not a must, but just to tell it that you are done with that part. Then when you run it, will limit to 20 records. So you can see some statistics here. It says 20 rows affected, so it only returns the 20 rows. So this was just by the way to put on board those who had an issue, those who are asking about these MySQL. We are going to focus now on that project part, but I want to get the feedback here if people have understood this part, or they need some clarification somewhere or something. So I take this opportunity to return to you so that I may also get some feedback if we are together, or if I've been talking to the computer and my connection perhaps is lost. So let me get to hear from you on the other end, please.
Thank you very much. Okay.
Is there a question, or people have now understood how to work with this? This notebook to work on the MySQL SQL projects, to establish connection actually. Remember now, once you have done this one in this environment, is someone talking? Now you can see when you have this file, when you have run everything here in this environment, you'll not have to repeat it in next time. So for example, you have something like this select and where stuff here. So next time you'll not have to run everything. You just launch a notebook and then you begin straight away. But what you need to know is that you have to use that magic command for you to run. So for example, if you wanted some guidance on this notebook section or a part walkthrough, you can do it. You can, I don't know, this already has some solution. I wanted something which is not working so that I can show you how you can run. But once you have that connection, then let me try to run this part. Let me just try to run this one. Now you can see there's no error. This part this part is not a must here, but I just wanted to show you. Remember, when you install this SQL Alchemy on this other end, it will install the latest version. And the reason it won't work on your end, it might have some incompatibility issues. It may not be able to work with other modules. So you have to specify the version so that it may work well with other modules. So remember, this is the stable version so that it may be able to connect well with the MySQL Workbench. And then this one is just to establish connection. Like now, it won't establish connection because the database loaded there is not United Nations. So when I'll run it, you'll see there'll be an error and all that. So so this was just a bit the way to put on board those who are not present here so that they may understand how to configure to set up these things. I guess once you've set up this connection, the other thing is just the same. The commands we are using the same from MySQL, they're just the same. Yes. So we want to begin the project straight away. I think we are also wasting time. So let me know the question, if you have any question up to this point before we go to the next thing. Anybody? I can't see the chat when I'm in this screen, so you can, if someone has typed there, you can just let me know.
Lauren is asking how many equal signs are used, 2 or 3?
Where? To install this one.
Yes.
You use 2. Remember now when you use 2. When you use 1, this one is an assignment operator. I think it is in Python or also in SQL. When you use 1, this one is like an assignment. You are assigning these values to this SQL Alchemy. But now when you use 2, it means that you're equating. You want this version. But when you use 1, it won't work. You have to use 2. When you use 2 equal operator, it means that you're equating. It's like an equal. You want this version. But when you use 1, it means that you are assigning. Like the example that I showed you earlier, like x equals to, see, I don't know which value, 100, y to something. It means that you are assigning the second value, that integer, to that variable. But now when you use these two variables, 2 equal operator, it means that you want the exact version. So when you use 1, it won't work. You have to use 2. Not 3 also, you have to use 2. If you want to install this SQL Alchemy here.
My question was,
Yes.
because I've used 3 while you were doing it. I was just following your steps and it has worked. So
Yes.
can you use 2 or 3? Or both can work?
To use what?
The equal signs. I've used 3 and it has connected.
It has connected. Wow. It means I'm not sure about that, but if it has worked, that is perfect. I'll also try that in future.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. So I think there's no question. The discussion being recorded. If so, could I have the recording? I think the recording will be available once I stop it. That's when I'll send the recording. Because at the moment I can't send it now. So I'm assuming there's no question. I'm assuming so. So working with this stuff, it's quite hectic. To work with this Jupyter notebook, I'll be using this MySQL Workbench because this one is just straightforward. Because you don't have to type a lot. For example, if I want to pull a database name, you just drag and drop, and then you use it. It's quite easier than using the Jupyter notebook. It's a long process for me, but if it's your preference to use it, then it's good for you. But I've shown you how you can configure, you can set up the connection between this Jupyter notebook and then under the MySQL Workbench. So I'll go straight away to the modules, though I haven't read anything. So I think we are just brainstorming. Or someone who has done the assignments can as well help us. Integrated project. I think it's this one. Is it 12? Is it this one? This is
Yes.
the project. Okay, so let me download and let me. There was some option to download. Oh, I have to click here. So can we begin or?
Yes, I think we can begin. Since that's what we had planned for today.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
I like working with this this thing, WPS or Word. It displays very well. So yeah, so we can begin straight away. So someone can read for us here. And let's begin. Let's just begin. For me, I'm not a good reader, so someone if can read for us, it could be better.
Okay, let me read. Do you mind zooming in?
Yeah,
It's not so clear to me.
Though when I zoom in, oh yeah.
Okay, then that's okay. Dear team, our mission as adults as it is essential requires us to delve deeper into a reservoir of data. To truly illuminate the road ahead, we must magnify our analysis, moving beyond isolated data points to discern larger patterns and trends. In this next step, we will cluster our data, stepping back from the individual figures to gain a panoramic understanding. The bird's eye view will allow us to unearth broader narratives and hidden correlations concealed within our rich dataset. Next, we must pay heed to the different forms of data in our possession. They are not mere numbers or dates, they are stories waiting to be deciphered. Their unique structure, though challenging, brims with valuable insights. As we process this, we unlock deeper layers of understanding. Bear in mind that every piece of information you decipher, every category you determine brings us one stride closer to our noble goal. It is through the intricate details and broader brushstrokes of data that we will uncover the solutions to Majindogo's water crisis. Your unwavering commitment to this mission emboldens me. Together we continue marching forward using data and dedication as our compass towards a brighter, more secure future for Majindogo. Thank you for all your tireless efforts. Warm regards, Aziza Naledi.
Thank you so much. Can someone summarize for us or interpret for us this content here? Just 1 minute, please, so that we may understand everything here before we go to the next slide.
I think basically from what we read is they're just highlighting that we're going to now analyze our data. From what we did last week, now we're going to delve deeper and cluster our data.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, that's great. And I think when you go to the data dictionary or something, I think this girl, Aziza Naledi, is kind of a president. I think is the person in charge of that firm that works on these analysts. To analyze these stuff. Like the president, the one in charge of everything, the president there. And then there was also another guy called, let's scroll down. Yeah, Chidi. I think this is like a manager or something. So someone can read for us this part and I will try to analyze it.
All right, let me read.
Yes.
Hi, Press Naledi. I hope you're doing well. We're driving into our recent survey data for the Majindogo Water project. Our team stumbled upon some inconsistencies that caught our eye. It's nothing alarming, but we think it's worth a closer look. Would you consider bringing in an independent auditor to double check some of the records? I think it's a smart move to ensure everything is on the up and up. After all, we are all about accuracy and trust. Feel free to reach out if you want to chat more about this or need more details. Take care. Chidi Kunto.
Yes, can you summarize for us?
Okay, so Chidi is actually the data analyst for the Majindogo project. So
Yes.
because he's been the one dealing with the data, he's identified some inconsistencies, and therefore he's just informing the president that they might be a need to double check. They might need an independent auditor to double check the records. So he's telling the president so that he can get the president's opinion.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you. I think I've understood that part also. Yeah, and then Aziza Naledi replies. So someone can read for us here.
Okay, let me read. Hi Chidi, thanks for catching that and for being attentive to detail. I'm right there with you on this. We want to be sure we are working with the best information possible. I'll get an independent auditor on this ASAP. They'll touch base with you and the rest of the team to get things rolling. I've added everyone so that we'll all be on the same page. Appreciate your diligence, Chidi. Let's keep up the great work. Majindogo is counting on us. All the best, Aziza Naledi.
Yeah, that's great. I think Aziza, she is in agreement with the suggestion made by Chidi Kundo. There's a need to look for an auditor. So it means analysts usually have a keen I saw somewhere here, attentive to details. So analysts should be very, very attentive to details, and the president she's in agreement with what Chidi proposed. So I think there's no more information there. Then so someone can read for us.
Let me read.
Yes.
Before we start, there's someone else. Lois, you can go.
Before we start, scan through the data dictionary and perhaps query a couple of tables to get a feel for the database again. Cleaning our data. Okay, bring up the employee table. It has info on all our workers, but note that the email addresses have not been added. We will have to send them reports and figures, so let's update it. Luckily, the emails for our department are easy. First name, last name, at ndogowater.gov. I am going to guide you through this one, so code along. You can determine the email address for each employee by selecting the employee name column, replacing the space with a full stop, make it lowercase, and stitch it all together.
Yeah, that's great. And for me, what I've got from this conversation or this message here from Chidi is a good practice always. For example, if you are working on you are recording data and something, you need to have a particular table for your data dictionary, so that, for example, if you are sending that data set or that database to someone else, they can easily identify the definition of columns and all that. So you can see, like here it says query a couple of tables to get the feel of for the database again, so that when you go through that data dictionary, you're able to get the feel of the database, you understand the structure of columns. And I think that's what is here in this table. And like for ALX team, I think Explore AI, they went ahead and also created a PDF for data dictionary. So when you read this data dictionary here, you can understand everything. The database name is MD_water services include 60,000 unique records, 43 columns, and all that information. You can see now they've explained the column name, their description, and the data types. And sorry, let me just make it silent. Okay, make it silent. Yeah. So so I've also got something from that information, that conversation. Like when you have a data dictionary, is very, very helpful if you're working with someone else. So like for example, if you use some values here, like for example, this pop_n, pop_u. So when you're sending it to someone else, they could not understand what this stuff mean. But when you have in your database, you have a table for data dictionary. So it is very, very helpful for other analysts to identify the columns and all that. And then the next thing, you begin with the cleaning the data. So bring up the employee table. The employee table, it has info of all our, by the way, before I go there, also on this other end, we have the data dictionary here, table. It is here already. You can query with SQL. Just select all from this database, then on the data dictionary. And then you can see we have this information about the columns name and all that here. Yeah, so it is very, very clear here. You can understand everything here very well. And then let's just go through everything step by step. And then so bring up the employee table. It has info on all our workers, but not that the email address have not been added. We will have to send them reports. We will have, I'm not a good reader, sorry. We will have to send them reports and figures. So let's update. Luckily, the email for our department are easy. First name, last name, and then .gov. So I think we need to query this employee table and have a look on what he's talking about here. So I think someone can give us a command. Someone can give us a command on how we can query that employee table so that we may be together. Don't want to do everything here. Let it be collaborative. So someone can give us a command to query or to run that employee table to get the tables.
Select all.
Select all. Is it all?
The asterisk.
Okay.
From. Let me ask, you have already selected the DB?
Yes.
You have already selected the database, the Majindogo?
Here, I've not, this is just a new query.
Yes. Oh, not yet.
This is a new query here.
Oh, okay.
New script.
I think you should start with use the MD water services. Then you query it first.
All right. Use and this database. But I think alternatively you can as well go with the if option or away. Let's try that one and then we'll see if it will work or not. Let's try this from first of all database name dot. Don't know if it will work because I think we've already loaded that one earlier. But let's try to use this way and then we shall also try the other one if this one will fail. So yeah, so you can as well, once you've loaded, I think once you've loaded the database once, next time you can just select, or by the way, let's go with this option because I will have to specify, these are database all the time. But when it's here at the top, I think it's easier. Let's do that. So I guess this is the option. This is the correct command, right? I can't get the name very well. Don't know the person, but I think this was the way.
Yes.
Sure it is.
Okay. So that you don't have to specify most of the time here the database name and then and the table name. So you just use it once, then when you run, you can get the list. So I think he was talking about the email address and dots. Oh yeah, you can see the email here is null. This part is null, and so there's no email address. And then he says, let me get there. Bring up the employee table we have opened. It has information about our workers, and we've seen that it has some information there. But not that the email address have not been added, and it's true. We saw it was null, so we'll have to send them reports. We will have to send them reports and figures. So let's update it. Luckily, the emails for our department are easy. So it's first name and then the last name. Then the extension is ndogowota.gov for all email address. The extension here is this domain, this username here, not username, this is domain, ndogowota.gov. So it means that it will be the first name. For example, my name is Nehemiah Wekesa, so it will be nehemiah.wekesa at ndogowota.gov. So this will be like a common denominator for all the email address, this ndogowota.gov. So I'm going to guide you through this one. So code along. We can determine the email address for each employee by selecting employee underscore column. But then let's first of all check if you have that column, employee underscore column, employee underscore what? Underscore employee underscore name, yeah, employee underscore name. It's here, and then the other thing, replacing the spaces with the full stop. So the full stop, yeah, we shall get there, and then make it lowercase. So by that, these are the instructions you need to note it somewhere. So we'll be dealing with the employee column, then I will replace the space, the white space between the names, let's check, like for example, Tabo, Akida, it has some space, white space here between Tabo and Akida. So we'll have to replace this white space here with a dot. And then this name should be small letters. So these are the instructions that we need to put into consideration or in our minds as we go along. So we have to update the database again with this email address. So before we do, let's use the select query to get the format right. Then I use update and set to make the changes. Can we begin here, or let's first of all read everything here? Oh, in fact, they have given us the codes. Can someone, can I just read? Can someone read for us, please?
First up, let's remove the space between the first and the last names using replace. You can try this. Then you have the code.
And then that part for lowercase, so there's this option. But there I was just going through the modules today. This part for control flow. And I think, I don't know if I have that. I have that file here. It was for SQL. I think control flow. Let me get, I think, slides. Not sure. These are done, sorry. Just a minute.
What are you looking for?
There's another PDF that contained everything, as not this one. there was a PDF
About what?
that will rouse this part. These are I think control flow and all that. So we can use that for just our references. In case we are stuck somewhere. Though I see he has provided for us information or the codes, but just to which modules that we can access that PDF. I think it will also be helpful for us, just for getting some reference there in case we are stuck somewhere. Do you know which modules that has those stuff that has, for example, replace? These are concatenate. These commands replace for date time. It also had something like the date time command, and I think not sure about that PDF. Could be helpful for us.
It's in module 10 that talks about the strings.
Oh, strings. I see the strings function.
So the string and
Yeah, this is the one that I was looking for. Yeah, you can see it has everything here. We can use this one. It will be very, very helpful for us as we go on. But so you can see that they have already given us the code. By the way, is it Joseph? Can you guide for us? Can you guide us this part as we go on?
Yeah, so we are going to start by selecting the employee name.
Yes. So should I copy this part, or I go to the codes and then you will tell me what to write?
I think we can start by each instruction.
Yeah, each instruction.
Because we are starting by removing the space between the two names.
Yes. So begin with this one.
And we are using the employee name column. So we can start.
So you're going to give me the codes, or
Yeah.
Okay.
So select, and then you select the employee column, employee name.
Inside the parentheses.
Yes. Open bracket. Yeah. And then the column.
What is the column?
Employee name.
Oh, sorry. This is the table.
Employee. Yeah.
So let me open column.
And then now we want to remove the space in between the both names. So we're going to use so to remove the space.
Yes.
We use what do you call these? We use those quotation marks.
Yes. So I just add here, or there's a comma somewhere. What should I
do? We have been told
comma first.
Remove the space, and then put the full stop.
Okay. So what do I write here?
Yeah. So there we are going to. So these are quotation marks that are going to help us do that.
The quotation mark.
Yeah.
What is the exact thing that I have to write here, or I just write these things here?
Yeah. I'm trying to recall the name for them.
Actually, you can use either single or double.
Yeah.
Any.
Oh, and then because I think for a white space we need to create some space here like that, or and then.
Yeah. And then after the first one.
Who is this other person? Let me.
It's Amon.
Samuel. Amon. I think Amon also can help us as we go along. So Joseph and Amon can help us as we go. So it's yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so there's a comma, and then we introduce other quotation marks with a full stop in between. Now to introduce the full stop.
Oh, so full stop like that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So I think we'll have to use here at the top use.
Yeah, and then the function. Yeah, and then the function there, it is replace.
Or replace here. Where?
Yeah.
So
Where you've written select.
So replace will wrap up everything.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now you can remove the select. You already have one at the top.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So now we have removed the space in between the two names.
Mm-hmm. So first of all, do I need to import this nini? To use it here at the top? Or Amanaribu?
Okay, I think for the purposes of going forward, I think it will be nice if we just run the first line so that every time we are running our queries, we don't need to specify the database. So because all our queries, we are using the water service database.
Oh, so by this file is we ran it earlier, right? See,
it's just at the top. You run once, and then every time we are running using this edit that window, we will be using that one. Yeah.
Thank you.
And also after the select, you can write a replace. I see you've not written that.
Or replace here at the top. We say it wraps everything.
Yes,
yes.
Yeah, you can remove the select because replace is the function.
I can?
You can remove select. Yeah, replace is the function that will execute that command.
So I remove the select.
Yeah. So now we need to bring it to lowercase. Now we are going to introduce another function, lowercase.
Are you sure there's no select somewhere?
Yeah.
Are you sure there's no select?
Yeah. So select is select is you introduce select.
Select here at the top.
Yeah, to pick the column.
So which column? Or
now the employee column. Now select picks the employee column that we are working on.
Employee name?
Yeah, employee name. Yeah. You already have it there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. You already have it in the next line.
Okay.
Now the next thing we want to draw the case.
So ni rani kwanza?
No, tukimaliza.
Okay.
Now we are going to the next step. We want to lower
tuna wrap everything.
Okay. I was thinking you'll go to the next line, but even that one, even that way is okay.
Okay, wacha tuende to step by step.
Okay.
So tuna guide. So next umesema?
Okay. I have a suggestion.
Yes.
Sorry, Joseph and Wekesa.
Yes.
Maybe for the purposes of everyone understanding.
Yes.
We can run every time we use a function.
Yes.
And also, if right now we can select the column before any manipulation. That's after now the select before we replace. You can just display employee name.
Yes.
Then now you can use
These are the...
No. Just paste the employee name after select at the bottom above and replace.
Okay.
You can just uncomment that one. So employee name. Employee name.
Employee name. I write here.
We select. Just selecting that particular column so that we can see what's going on.
I run this part.
Can you introduce an employee name as well as the extra column that we should be showing?
Yeah.
Then
I run.
You can give that one a comma.
Run. Comma. Oh, sorry.
Then you can give an alias this one. You can just say the replace one. You can just say maybe it's a formatted name. That's how the replace.
Sijakuelewa hapo.
We pay jina that particular column after we've replaced.
Oh.
Yeah.
So as tuipatie jina updated or
Just
something.
say a formatted name or something, or just an email, the new email, something, because that's where we are going.
Remove the comma. Remove that. Nisemeaje? I like the correct name to use here.
Ungeweka tu just because tunajaribu kutafuta email. Ika tu new email.
New email?
Yeah.
I think this is the correct thing to do.
Then unaweza run hii part kwanza so that kila mtu aone venye tunasonga every step every time.
Yeah, so I think there's an error.
Employee name.
From which table?
We have to use the where clause here.
From.
Yeah, from, not where. So from.
From employee.
Employee.
From by day. This is very important. From employee.
Yeah, so hizi tutakuwa tunaona after we run every function we compare the previous name the new name. Unaona?
Okay.
So unaweza run hiyo kwanza for the purposes here. So unaona adawa the new name to replace a new one. Alafu something else maybe it's not just maybe we are not just
can you raise your the volume or the volume of your microphone?
Okay. Can you hear me?
Very stable now.
Okay. So what I was saying is that for the purposes of understanding also the content, maybe we can explain what every function means. For instance, now if we use a replace, it always takes 3 arguments. It starts with the strings that we need to format, which is now our column, which is the employee name. Then the second argument is what we want to replace. In our case, it's a space. Then what we want to replace with. In our case, it's a full stop. So that way, at least everyone will understand what every function does. When we try to use it. So I think
it's a very, very wonderful suggestion in that you are here. You can just explain for the people.
Yeah, actually, I've just explained that a replace function always takes 3 arguments. Whereby you start with the string that you want to format, followed by what you want to replace, and finally what you want to replace with. Yeah, that's how a replace functions is used. Yeah.
And then
now you can,
if I can
continue.
If I can add this AS, this is like if you want to use an alias for, you can see the initial part, let me try to run it somewhere. I think which column, I'm not sure. It was the column, it is represented null. I don't know the exact name. But now when you use it it was employee name, I guess. But now when you use it as an alias, so it means that the new column which will be created, the column name, it will be the new email. So when you use this AS, just define the alias for this other one, like the updated version of that name. And then this form defines the table that you are using, I guess. You can continue. Is it?
Joseph, you can continue.
Yes.
All right. Yeah, that was good. Yeah.
Yes.
So we can continue and put the employee name into lowercase. You can see it's in uppercase.
Yes.
So we are going to use the lowercase function. So you can write there raw.
What I do, can I just comment this one, then we use it in a new line so that we can reference it straight later.
Exactly.
Yes. So here you say that I wrap everything inside the lower.
Yes.
Okay. slower, like that.
Yes, and then now you can run as Amon was saying. After every function, now you run, you see what's happening.
Okay. So there's an error somewhere, I guess. Lower. So
I think the last bracket should be just behind the S, just behind us, just behind alliance.
oh, before, yeah, sure. And this is the goodness with the discussion. You can understand something. Yeah, this is perfect. You can see it as what? Now the new part it has it has small case. It is now it's lowercase. When you compare, you'll see that the initial one. Let me make it a comment. The initial one, for those who are just let me undo this. Let me undo and run this part. You can see initially it had capitals in their initial, like Amara, Django. But now with the new code that we've used here, the new code that we have just used here, it doesn't have these capitals at the initials. So the new code, these are the second query, it has replaced that. It has lowered every initials here. So I think that part is very, very perfect. And thank you so much.
Yes. So now we want to go to the next function. We want to join the employee name and
for the purpose of records, can we go with these slides so that when we finish some? Oh yeah. So the next thing it says we can use the concat to add the rest of the email address. So you are explaining this one. So yeah, so let's just focus on this part to concatenate, right? Let's continue.
Okay, so you've read. Sorry, you've read the next instruction.
Yeah, I've read. No, though. I'm tusome kindly. I can read even though I can say we use the concat to add the rest of the email address. So basically, concat is like a short form for concatenation, to combine things together. To concat is like to combine items together. You can concatenate strings, integers, and anything. Concat is like to combine things, to join things. So select so this is the command to do that, and so you can guide us on this part.
Yes. So now you are just going to introduce the concat to join the names and the email bits.
So still it will wrap everything, right?
Yeah, still it will wrap everything up.
Concat. Yeah, you can see now the syntax. It had the parentheses. So you'll have to wrap everything inside. For those who are just new, maybe. So you have to wrap everything. I guess this is the way. Is it in order? Concat.
Yeah. So as you do that,
yes,
you
please.
just add something just to explain on concat.
Yes.
So concat is a function whereby we are using to combine the different string values into one. Yes. So it takes any number of arguments as long as the arguments are strings that are separated by a comma.
Yes.
Yeah. Now you can continue.
So you said it takes how many arguments? The concat.
It takes any number of arguments as long as your arguments are they are strings.
It is not like the replace where you have it is strictly with 3 arguments. So you see,
this one is just the 3. So if you input like 5 strings separated by a comma,
yes,
it will combine all the 5, and now the output will be just a one string.
Yeah. So before I close these parentheses, so I should have used here a comma, then replace add the nini hapo, the string hapo to add, si ndio?
Yes, you can add that one, what we are supposed to combine with our name.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let me copy this part. Then I will add it here. So you can see it's a Word format, is like the text format. Do I have to, you can explain to people, right, there's no need, this part, should it be in quotes to define it as a string, or because we are working with the concat, we don't have to specify, like, because
It should be a string, so you must have that one, because
yes.
it's something which is not defined in our database or any table.
Yes,
So
yes.
it's something which is new, and
Yes.
it's not like
Yes.
it's already existing in our table. So it should appear in between quotation marks.
Yeah, that's very wonderful, so that people can understand. So you don't just paste there, you have to define it inside the string. So you can use either a single or a double quote to tell SQL that this part is a string. So for integers, you just write the words. For integers, if it were integers, but now for string, to define a string, you have to use it inside the quotes. But you saw the employee table, we just use it because this one is defined here already like a table. You are defining a table, so you don't have to specify a string. But if you want to concatenate with the string here, you have to define it, be it a single or a double quote. Either way, I think it will work. Yes. Anything else?
It's perfect. You can run it.
Okay. Wonderful, wonderful. Now you can see now we have achieved that. You can see now he said that the email address is the first name dot last name, and then this extension like this at ndogowater.gov is like the common denominator for all. So we've achieved that. We've used the first name dot last name, and then with this extension. So I think we've done some achievements here. We've succeeded that part. But anything to add there?
Maybe just a question.
Yes, please.
Can concat be used with integers or any floating number?
But in this context, for this,
No, not just for this one, just to understand. Can it be used maybe when someone finds a question?
Yes. It can be used.
It be used?
Yeah, it can be used with anything. You can combine. For example, let's try.
Just put a comma there. No, just
a comma. Yeah.
Is just a number one.
Yeah, number one. Yeah.
Yeah, something like that.
Let me try to run. So you can see it also work. It works.
Oh, okay.
So it can work with anything.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and there's an error. The comma here. I think the comma is the problem. The reason. So we've just realized that this concat takes any number of arguments. You can concatenate or you can combine anything, many things as much as want. But in this people tuambia tutumia to this part, and I think we've achieved that. Ama, you have something to say, Nani, Joseph?
Yeah, you can use concat with strings and integers, and also there's something else you can use it. Maybe someone else can remind us.
Yeah, I think it takes any data type. You can as well use even the booleans in anything. Any data type. You can concatenate anything, I guess. So I'm sure that these slides were good, unless someone has a question. But then let's try to participate. I guess the more you participate, the more you'll understand than following. So in case someone has a question in the Nini, you can just chip in and say something.
But I still believe we have not yet added the email address to the database.
Oh, yeah, by day. So we used to concatenate. So after to display to Nini, so we need to do it. We need to update now that in any database. We need to update that database. But before yes.
Oh yeah, I was saying now that is the next step.
Or this is the next slide.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, sure.
Yeah, updating. The next slide.
Oh yeah, the next slide. But there someone can read for us. Msichana tusomee. Tutaelewa haraka.
Let me read. Quick win. Since you have done this before, you can go ahead and update the email column, this time with the email addresses. Just make sure to check if it worked. So the query is update employee, set email equal concat lower replace. So basically what we were just doing, then we're going to update the employee.
Yes. So I think at this time this one is easy. Jametupatia the codes. So let me for the purpose of reference, let me just make this one a comment and I use it on a new line so that we can refer to it later. So amesema we use which command? Update. Update what? Update, what's the command?
Now we are the employee table.
The employee table?
Yeah, the table we are updating.
Okay. The next
and then
thing.
Now what the column we are updating.
Oh, so I have to add the column name.
Now is the command.
Yes.
Is the command. So we are setting email.
Set, and then this thing. Set what?
Email.
Email this nini, this part.
No, you write there. It's a command you're writing. Set email.
Email in small.
Yeah. And then is equals to now what we have just now what we have just the email that we have just made now.
Oh. Yeah. So I run it.
Now you have to copy that email you have made and then place it there.
Which email?
I think it now the email. You see now that what we are doing there, we were making the email.
We were making the email.
I'm saying.
Yes.
Maybe okay. Check row 17 to number 16.
16. What? Unasema nini?
Now equate it now to the email, yeah.
Like hivyo, unasema hivyo?
Yeah.
I see there's an error here somewhere.
You're supposed to remove the alias there.
Oh, yeah. Sure.
And also the from employee part.
Yeah. This is very, very important. By the hiyo yenye tulikuwa natumia is an alias, so ilikuwa na temporary update nini hiyo database, but haikuwa ina make nini changes, haikuwa ina auto, haikuwa ina update. So when you use the alias, if someone can illustrate that well or explain that well, when you use an alias, like you are just temporarily creating a column, so anything you do on the nini itakuwa affected. Sijui kama nimesema poa, mtu anaweza tu jaribu kuexplainia watu vizuri, and that the reason we've removed and do that. But I believe people here wamepitia content za modules. So anything here, or I should just run?
Yeah, you can run.
Okay. Wow, so I guess the table is now.
So what we need to know also is that every time we start our database, the update is in a false save mode.
Yes.
So we need to update that to true, so that every time we can make an update.
Yeah. That one is very, very important. You see, for us, the first part we ran all the queries, we ran all the codes, and on that part, it had that command for the safe mode stuff. But if you are doing it one by one, then you have to do what you have to activate that part of which you are saying the safe mode part for it to work, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I believe people have understood that. wasn't gotten something there. So you have first of all to activate the safe mode. So I think now you are using the safe mode, so we have to. So what is the command to use? Niweke huko juu, si ndio?
Yeah, weka hapo juu.
What is the command?
Nimeipaste kwa chat wa set, you can set.
Acha nichukue. Sorry, nafungua browser ingine, sorry. Yeah. Wonderful. This saves time a lot for it to activate, for it to work. And then so in this case, when I run this code, it will work, right?
Yes, it should.
Yeah. So you can see now there's a tick, which means that it's successful. It has updated. You can see now some rows are affected here. So can we do some check and see if it's updated? A new person a new person from the group can tell us the command that we can use, for example, to list the columns there and also check the email address if they are affected or not. These are employee table. A new person there kwa Google Meet, the members. Any person. Command yenye ita list ita display the employee table. Kama hakuna, let me just run this part, and then this is the command. Select all from this database, then the employee name. Then you can see now the email part is affected. It is working. It is updated. We've updated this part. Yeah. So. Yeah. So what else? Can someone continue to read for us here?
Okay, let me read.
Yes.
I picked up another bit we have to clean up. Often, when databases are created and updated or information is collected from different sources, errors creep in. For example, if you look at the phone numbers in the phone number column, the values are stored as strings. The phone numbers should be 12 characters long, consisting of the plus sign, area code, into brackets 99, and the phone number digits. However, when we use the length into brackets column function, it returns 13 characters, indicating there is an extra character. So we have the query down there, recommended, which is a select length into brackets phone underscore number from the employee table.
This part.
Okay. That's because there's a space at the end of the number. If you try to send an automated SMS to that number, it will fail. This happens so often that they create a function, especially for trimming off the space, called trim into brackets column. It removes any leading or trailing spaces from a string.
Tutajaribu kutumia pia another command ya kutrim some parts. So first of all, let's go step by step here. So I pick up another bit we have to clean up. So often our database are created and when database are created and updated, or information is collected from different sources, errors creep in. For example, if you look at the phone number, in the phone number column, let's check if you have that column in our table. What was it? Phone number column. Yeah, sure, we have that column called the phone number. And then what does he says? For example, if you look at the phone numbers, the values are stored as strings. So the values are stored as strings kwa sababu ya that plus. Nje this plus is not an integer. This plus integers zinaanzia 1 0 mpaka 9. So when you introduce another character hata kama ni full stop comma, hiyo nini inakuwa nini the string. So the phone number should be 12 characters long, consisting of the plus sign, the area code, and the phone number digits. However, when you use the length column function, it will return 13 characters, indicating that they are extra characters. So let's try to run this command and see if it's true. It will return 13 something. Yeah, so let me run, and then so on the phone number, I think all of them they are 13. All of them they are 13. So let me first of all use the not here. So it's 13. We have just used this length column only. So you can see everything is returning 13, and it's true. That part is very, very true. And this is because that's because there is a space at the end of the number. So if you try to send an automated SMS to that number, it will fail. This happens so often. That way, so this happens so often that they create a function. So especially for trimming. So let me try to nini. So ni kama this part of the phone number. Let me undo this part. It seems walikuwa na create an extra space here, white space here at the end. So ndio ina count kama nini, kama 13 characters, if I've understood that part. And then so this happens so often that they create a function, especially for trimming off this space called trim column. It removes the leading or a trailing space from a string. Hebu tu mtu atusomea hapo hivi haraka haraka ndio tu nini tuelewe hapo.
Use string to write a select query again. Make sure you get the string without the space, and then update the record like you just did for the emails. If you need more information about trim, Google trim documentation, MySQL. Honoring the workers. Before we dive into the analysis, let's get you warmed up a bit. Let's have a look at where our employees live. So I think this is another query, but let me finish. Use a employee table to count how many of our employees live in each town. Think carefully about what function we should use and how we should aggregate the data.
So I think this first of all we need to tackle this part of the trim. I think hajapeana some code example to direct kwa Google. But I think because you create the modules, I think we can do this part, I guess. So sindio nani Jose na nani na anyone. So you can just write here lazima tuende kwa Google venye mzee.
Actually, trim function it's a simple function. It takes one argument. It always removes if there is any spaces.
Can you raise the volume again? Can you raise the volume like you did last time?
What I'm saying,
Yes, please. Yes.
Is that trim function is used to remove the spaces at the end or at the beginning of every string.
Yes.
So it always takes one argument, which is the string, and then removes those spaces at the beginning or at the end. It doesn't remove any space in between the string. It's just the end or at the beginning. Yeah, that's how the trim function functions.
Yeah, there's no other argument to specify the number of characters to trim. It's just one argument.
No, this one is it's specific. It doesn't. It's not like you specify the characters that you want to remove. It's designed in a way that it only removes the only character that it can remove is the space, and it's not any other space. It's the space that appears at the end of a string or at the beginning.
Okay.
It doesn't add any value to your string. Yeah.
That's wonderful. So someone can give us the query, the commands to use. Amon, can you try? Is it Amon? Is it Amon or Joseph? Or any other person?
You can select.
Yes.
Select that by select then the column we want to
So
trim function.
Trim function first of all.
After select, you can trim. Then the column that we want to trim, that's the phone number.
The phone number column.
Yeah.
Sorry. Oi. Just a minute.
Phone number, you can give an alias for that. Or just it's not a must. Then you select the table from. After giving a number, okay, it's not a must that you give an alias. You can just from there.
Phone number, phone N. Let me just say that.
Okay. From employee.
From employee table.
Yeah. That's it.
Okay. Sorry. Should be a column. If I'm not wrong. Wow. This is wonderful. So let's try.
We can add something so that we make sure that it's trimmed.
Yes.
Just come out the phone N.
Yes. Or trim.
Yeah, you can just add a comma and then we count the length of that to make sure that we are doing the right thing. So you can just copy the trim for number.
Trim for number.
Yeah, inside a length function.
So should be length. The command.
Just in the next line. You can maintain that one. No. After phone N, it's just a check that we're trying to comma. Then in the next line, length.
Length. What's the spelling for length? Is it like that?
Then
Evo?
You can copy now the trim for number inside that particular function without an alias.
Okay. So is a function so lazima iko kwa nini? Parentheses, ndio?
Yeah.
Okay.
Spelling ya length ni LENGTH, not HTH.
Nimejifunza kitu. Asante sana.
Then we what we were trimming, it's like our new without the alias part. Yeah. So you can run that one.
Run.
So you can see now our phone number column has 12. It has 12 characters the way it should be. It's just a check that we were adding.
Yes.
Now our function is it's the same way that he was explaining. Now you can use that one to update.
So can I just use nini? Acha tuniandike na kwanga lazy sometimes. Let me just andika. So we are updating still that table, employee table, sindio?
Yes.
Update employee. Is it?
Yes. Then you can set the phone number.
Into nini? Into hebu nipatie command.
Eka the column name, which is the phone number.
Phone number.
Then is equal to, you can copy out the function that we use
to nini? To this function.
Yeah, the trim function.
Just like that.
Without an alias part.
Eva?
Yeah, I think that is just like that.
Okay. Wow, this is wonderful. So again, now we can try to check.
Yeah.
Let's run this one again. And then sasa hata itatuonyesha kwa
I have a question. How do you check for that?
to check what?
If
By there
you
we were to nini to check by there si tushatupatia nini command ya kunini
Yes,
hapo vitu kaangalia.
yes.
There
Yeah.
are 12. So hata hapo hivi ingetupatia poa juu ilikuwa white space so you can't
Yeah,
notice.
you can't notice.
Yeah, sure. Very, very important observation there. So the nini is updated, though we can't tell because it's a white space. We can't tell if it's
You can
command.
You can just use the same command, the length one in our updated table, just to count the way we counted before we updated.
Okay, so
I think there was a command like that.
tuitumia tu hiyo.
Yeah, somewhere.
So length. Yeah, here it is. So undo the comment. Ai, mbona ina nini? I undo comment. Let me. Sijui kwa nini I undo. Oh yeah, nakubali.
So what you can do,
Yes.
You can remove the trim function because already our
is trimmed.
Yeah, even the second one for the length, you can just remain with the length. Now, don't remove the from employee. You can undo that. Yeah. So the trim function you can remove.
Under the extra parentheses.
Yeah. So that one should give you 12. Yeah.
So, wow. This is wonderful. So I think we have achieved, we have altered now the table, we have modified, we have updated the table. The changes now updated in our employee table. So I think we are good at part. I'm not sure if someone has a question there. I need some clarification. Joato Wonge will assume that people are good. Sindio? Unaonaje nani? Amon, Eve, and Joshua.
I think because we can continue.
Great. So I think sasa ndio tuanze hapo part. Honoring the workers. Before we dive into the analysis, let's get you warmed up a bit. So let's have a look at where our employees live. Use the employee table to count how many of our employees live in each town. Think carefully about what function we should use and how we should aggregate the data. Should I continue or tuninio kwanza? Hajatupatia macode, so we have to figure out ourselves venye amesema tu. We need to use the employee table to count how many of our employees live in each town. So it means that there might be several towns. And let me view this table and which town iko huko mbele? Province ya town, yeah. Oh, basically there are several regions or towns. So we need to identify, for example, when you anaishi kwa Ilanga, how many live in Ilanga? How many live in rural? How many live in Lusaka and all that? How many employees live in those field? So someone to give us the command.
Before we use a command,
yes, please.
Just I can summarize something.
Yes, please.
From what we are trying to solve now in trying to understand how many employees live in every town.
Yes,
you should keep in mind that our more than one employee can live in the same town. So if you think in that space, then it means you can find the right function for you to tackle that particular question. And also, you need to know that you need to output one town with a specific number of employees in that particular town. So I think with that, you can now figure out the right function to use. So I think someone can help us from that, making sure that we take that into consideration.
Yes. Thank you so much. I think you made it easy for people. So someone can give us the command. Najua people wamepitia the modules wako na some idea. So give us the command. Give us the command here. So let's continue with the nini. If flow yenye tulikuwa natumia I think ilikuwa mzuri, acha nitumie to the same. Any other person in the app hivi kwa nini kwa chat ama nitaje watu is not appropriate, but I see we have many people here. I think we have around 52 participants, so people are so intelligent here, so they can give us here some command. Ni vitu rahisi tu zenye mlisoma hapo kwa modules ndio tunazitumia hapa hivi. Any command? Any person? I think if not, Nani, you can take it. Sijui ni Joshua, sijui ni Amon. You can tupatia tu tuweke for the interest of time.
Okay, let me just paste the command in our chats.
Yes, please.
So first, before I paste this, we need to count the employees using any column, because in our employee table, one entry represents an employee.
Yes.
So we can count the employee. Then now we can group by town, because that's what we want to know, the number of employees that are in a particular town. So we group our results using a town name. Yeah.
So umeandika your code ni paste hapo enjoy. Just realize.
Yeah, let me just share with you.
Chini paste ani chukua hapo itakuwa much easier.
Me paste here. So for my case, I did an account using the employee name. You can just use any other column.
So let me remove some indentation. Should I? Oh, iko sawa. But then in here you consider nini indentation kama nini other languages?
No, it doesn't. Yeah.
Okay. Wow. This is so wonderful. You can see that in Ilanga there are 3, in rural there are 29. Wow, umetupatia command mzuri sana ikatusaidia ku list nini how many people or employees live in a particular town.
So unaweza pitia your command, you just explain line by line.
Oh yeah. And by there you can just do that. So okay. So if I have to explain, so first of all we are using the town name, the time name, and then we are counting how many employees. We are counting how many employees in a particular town. So how many employees? Then this is just an alias, just for us to be able to see the nini here hapa kwa output. And then the table is employee. Then I will use this group by clause so that we can group this town name. So nini siko itajaribu njia yake ku identify which particular items they fall in the same category. Like for example, how many which employees or how many employees wenye na live kwa particular nini town. So this group by town name. So ita group the employees wenye wako particularly in a particular region or a particular town. Sijaweka poa but nani uanga na tusummarize vizuri Amon.
What always happens when in every SQL command, it always reads from outside going inwards. So what it does before it goes to select, it always identifies the table, which is the employee. then it groups the column, the data using our new column, which is the town name, our column, which is a town name. Then now it goes inside and counts in every particular group. So in our case, every group is a town. So that's how SQL always performs the queries.
That's very wonderful.
Yeah.
Umeeleza vizuri. Then the other thing, this group by should always be outside, si ndio? Outside ikwenge ya mwisho.
Yeah, it should be after we've identified
after.
the table,
Yes.
which is the from.
Yeah, from. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then for example ungekuwa na ingine kama ya order by, for example nataka kuona identify ya sender na nini hiyo, so hiyo ndio ingefaa sasa inakuwa ile nini ya mwisho kabisa, si ndio?
Yes. So tungekuwa na where ingekuja before we group.
Before group by, si ndio?
Yes, because we need to apply now after we've selected a table, we need to apply a condition. Maybe we want to select a specific group that meets a certain condition. So it will be where, then now we go inside and group those specific data that we've selected now using the where. Yeah.
I think this is so important. Someone has understood something there. So I think this part is done. Let me do this. I think let's see. Yeah, so unaona ni ukweli. We got Ilanga 329. Let's compare 329 for yards. Similar. So I think we also got this one. Even unaweza endelea kutusomea this part.
Okay. Note how many of our workers are living in smaller communities in the rural parts of Majindogo. President Naledi congratulated the team for completing the survey, but we would not have this data were it not for our field workers. So let's gather some data on their performance in this process so we can thank those who really put all their effort in. President Naledi has asked we send out an email or message congratulating the top 3 field surveyors. So let's use the database to get the employee _IDs and use those to get their names, email and phone numbers of the 3 field surveyors with the most location visits.
So someone can try to digest for us or summarize for us this part.
So I think we're supposed to get into our employee table and look for the 3 top employees who have had the most location visits and their field surveyors. Yeah.
So let's get there. And then where? So which table are we looking? Is it this one? Which table? Which table are we using?
It's the visits table.
The table should be visits table, not the employees.
Yeah. So visits table, yeah. So yeah, here it is. So continue, Eve.
So we are supposed to get the ones who have the maximum visit count. Yeah, and then I think they should be field surveyors. I think the title.
So which query can we use here?
Well, maybe we could use a. Let me see. We could select from the MD Water Services visits. Then maybe we look for
Select from?
Not the
Select.
visits. So
I write select and what?
from.
From.
Mm. The MD water services visits, not visits, yeah.
Dot visits. Sorry. Okay. Visits.
Yeah, and then you.
Sorry.
Oh, okay, and then you can introduce the max function to see the maximum number of visit in the visit column. So max into bracket number of visits.
Max into bracket number of visits.
Should we use the max? Because we are looking for 3 people.
Yeah, we are going to limit the columns by 3 at the end of the syntax. But if maybe I'm wrong, you can point it out. And then
from. Apa from. We are not selecting anything.
Select visits. The column. The column is visits.
The table ndio nini? Visit.
So the table is visit. So the column where
Ati?
the column where.
And if we say okay,
column is number of visits.
Ati? Number of
number of visits.
Visit count.
Visit count.
Yeah. Visit count.
So I think it's record share run already kwa juu iko need kuinini tena. That's the same. Alafu
and then the function. We wait a minute. Kuna nini?
Ama tunaweka max visit count where employee
visit counts. Alafu where?
I don't know whether that's the right.
Okay, we are supposed to select the assigned employee ID. And then, and then we aggregate it based on the visit count.
Yes. Welcome so much,
so,
Samuel.
Thank you. You're supposed to start with the assigned employee ID. From the select. Can you delete everything?
Okay, let me just delete.
So you select the assigned employee ID.
So let me delete this part. Then I say assigned employee ID.
And then you count.
Count.
Yeah. You can put a comma. And then you count the visit count.
So kwa bracket ama ni continuation too?
Yeah, kwa bracket.
Visit
or
count.
You can also count. Yeah, or you can also count everything. You count star as visit count. Yeah, you can also count everything. Count star as visit count.
Yes, visit count hivi.
Yeah, and then we are selecting this from the visits table. So it's from visits. Then we need to group everything according to the assigned employee ID. So we group according to the assigned employee ID. Because we are trying to aggregate these values based on the employee IDs. So we group by assigned employee IDs. And then we have to order these items by the visit count.
So order by.
The
Is it
visit
order
count.
by? Is it?
Visit
Yes.
count.
Okay. Visit count. Ivo.
Yeah. Can you try running that?
Let's try to run. This is wonderful.
Yeah. So you can also limit to the top. They have said the top 3. Yeah. You can also limit to the top 3.
So what is that command?
So you will add below the visit count. You will add the command limit 3 to have the total top 3 items.
I think at the limit we will limit the number of rows to be returned. If I'm not wrong, it won't.
Yeah.
It won't. Okay. So let me just limit.
And since they are aggregated by the visit count, this returns the top 3 items.
Okay.
Or maybe you can arrange in ascending order.
Yeah, actually, you are supposed to add the descending order.
Hapa ilikuwa order by.
Order by visit count.
This.
No. After the visit count. So
descend.
Yeah.
Okay. Alafu na limit 3.
Yeah.
Wow. Wonderful.
Yeah, as you can see from the slides, the table is different because they did not arrange according to the number of visits. They just is arranged according to the assigned employee ID. The table from the slides.
Oh.
That's why they explains you should get a table like this, but in different order.
Different order structure. Yeah, the same. Yeah, wonderful. So.
Okay, let me add something also.
Yes, please.
I saw, I heard someone was trying to use a maximum. So I think the first thing when you are doing any query is to understand our tables well before we do any query. For instance, now when the reason we are using count here is that every row in our visits table represents the visit to a particular location. So if a field surveyor visits this particular area, it records as one visit. So how will we know that there was a number of visits to this particular location by maybe a certain number of surveyors? Also, we need to know that one employee can visit several locations. That's why we are aggregating by the assigned employee ID. So one person can visit different locations several times. So and every time he visits, he makes an entry to this particular table. That's why we are counting now the number of entries in our table. That's why we are using a count function. Yeah.
Very wonderful.
So if you use a maximum, function always returns one value. So it goes through your column and then returns the maximum value in that particular column. So it always one value if you use a maximum, same as minimum and also average or something. Unless you are aggregating. Now, if we had used a maximum in our case, in this one with a group by with an employee ID being grouped, it will return the maximum value per employee. Now, so you see in our visit count, it has maybe 1 visit to a particular location, 4 visits or something. So it will return like 4 or something. You can just use that one, replace the count with a maximum value. You can just show that one practically.
So where do I?
In our last, this is our last. So employee, the count of function. Up there before at the select line.
Deselect.
There is a count function there.
Or visit count or this count.
Yes, you can replace with a max the way someone was suggesting, so that we can see what's the output for that. So it will just run that one.
I think that there's an error somewhere. Is it all max on all?
No, it should be now this person was a visit count. It should be visit count. Now you have to specify because it was like we are saying the visit count. Yeah, you can run that one. So you see what you will get. So you see, if you check, there was a location which was visited 8 times by employee ID 0, 1 and 3. Sijui kama tunaelewana kidogo.
Mimi nimekupata vizuri sana, maybe others.
So that's the effect of these whole functions. You need to understand first before you do any query. So I hope you can continue.
Okay, let me undo and use our. Yeah.
So I hope everyone has got from the extra explanation. In short, the code is just grouping every employee visit by the number of visits and the assigned employee ID. So this assigned employee ID basically can be matched to the name of a person. Like to say Nehemiah is employee ID 1. So in this case, Nehemiah visited the place 3,708 times. That's what the result means. The employee IDs, you can actually assume they are the name of people or the names of people.
Yeah. So let's continue in the slides. I think there's somewhere where they say that we have to use the IDs to find the employee name or something. Let's just read these slides in the. And this part we are done. So make a note of the top 3 assigned employee ID, and I use them to create a query that looks for employees info. Since you are a pro at finding stuff in a database now, you can figure this out. So you should have a column of names, email address, and a phone number for our top dogs. So I think I may digest this part. Sijui kama nimesoma po, I don't know how to read well. Mtu anaweza tusomea this part and then tutaenda kwa database to nini to explore. So I think if I can try to explain this part, they say that we can use that assigned employee ID. So we will have the ID like these IDs here. So we can use this ID to query somewhere or to look for the employees information. I think we can use the employee table, and then we shall query these are three individuals, top 3 people, and then we can get more information about that. More information about this employee, the details, the name, and all that. Sijui kama nimeelezea hapo. I think I don't know if this the summary of this part ama mtu akona more information to add on here before we get to the MySQL workbench.
I think you have explained well. Maybe to add, we are just trying to retrieve extra information based on the results of the previous finding. Like if we have found our assigned employee ID, the top one is ID 0. We want to find this extra information about this assigned employee ID 0. And again, remembering that we are saying this assigned employee ID are basically the names of, we can match them to names of people. So if I can give an example like ID 0 is Nehemiah. So what extra information can we find about Nehemiah using the employees table rather than any other table, referencing on his ID?
Yeah, that's a very wonderful explanation, and I think sometimes back we talked about the primary key and the secondary key. So you use the secondary key to fetch information from the primary key and all that. So I think we can use this assigned employee ID and then to fetch more information on the, I don't know which table, let me close this other tab so that digits. Let me just close many tabs here. Sorry. hizi zibaki. So which table will you use to reference that nini ID?
Use the employee table.
Employee. By the way, ukitaka kujua nini primary key na the foreign key, unaona nini zitafanana. Hizi nini zinaitwaje? The hizi nini assigned, tunaona hapa tuko na assigned employee ID kwa employee, then kwa visits we also have what assigned employee ID. So this is like at the secondary, venye imetumika kwa visit is like at the secondary thing, alafu kwa hivi ni primary key, so ziko related. That's why we say it's a relational database, whatever. So we can fetch information about these employees with these IDs from these other columns. So once again, I want to give someone an opportunity to write for us the commands to use these IDs to fetch information to the other columns here. Kwa hiyo column ingine, table ingine, not column. Someone? Ama watu wamepaste hapo kwa comments the code. Tunataka tuhusishe kila mtu. Mtu asiseme ni hao wachache ndio wanaongea. Want to give everyone a chance kwa sababu ni discussion. So any volunteer to give us the command to fetch information, just fetching this. Yes, please.
Okay, before the command, Nehemiah.
Yes, please.
Unaweza tuambia trick ya ku convert the code to comments. I think it's a question that has been asked so many times. I included want to know the trick. Una convert aje, how fast?
To make a comment, a multi-line comment. So for example, unataka kumake ama kudeselect these zikwe comments, zikwe the code. You just select everything. Then kama uko kwa window operating system, you just use control, then the /. It will undo the comment. And then when you do the same, control, then the /, it will make a comment. So inakuanga easier. For instance, ukitumia let me open here Visual Studio Code. Let me open here Visual Studio Code. And so, for example, ujue comments gani zinatumika. Like, let me open some Python script somewhere. Like, let me open the settings here. So, if you are unsure about which formula or which trick to use to make a comment, for example, Python wange inatumia hash to make it a comment. Kwa SQL inatumia 2 hyphens. So I think it's easier ukitumia control then at the /. So you can just add the comments, comments automatically bila kwenda kwa ChatGPT kwa research. So when you just control then on the /, you will get the nini ya ku make comments. So it will make comments. It can apply on a single line or a multi-line. It can work on a single line or a multi-line. So let me try with a different language let me try with a different language hapa for people just to understand that. I think I have some HTML somewhere. The folder. I have some HTML hapa. So if you don't know which code to use to make a comment, you just select, then I click control, then at the /. So naona kwa HTML iko na its way of making it a comment. So then to research and know which command to use, for example, to make this comment, you can just use control /, it will make a comment. Control, then at the /, again, it will undo the comment. So in whichever editor or IDE, we can just use that shortcut if you are unsure, because different languages, it has their ways or its syntax to define the comment. So when you just control then at the /, it make it a comment, so it applies on any language. Kama ni CSS, you just use the same, then utapata ya ku make it a comment. Sijui kama iko sawa. So kwa SQL just select everything, then control / it will undo the comment. Control or a command. Kama unatumia Mac, unatumia command, then a / to make the comment. The same command will undo the comment. Iko sawa?
Yeah, okay, for me iko sawa. Maybe I've seen John amesema I understand.
Okay, so so we were here. We want to fetch information about the nini. Tunataka tupate information about hao watu, tujue ni watu gani hawa wenye walivisit nini sana. Want to write here a command that we can use to query from this employee and get the information for these three particular people to get information about them. Ama sijui kama we can just read again the nini. Figure this out. You should have some column names.
But
So,
it's the same.
yes.
It is the same as select all. Alafu mkono inaandika. This is just a trial. Select all from select assigned ID. Alafu tuandike the list of the assigned IDs. Here 113 na 34. There's a list. And then we say from where.
So ni select all from this employee ID. Natumia where clause?
Yes.
Yeah, assigned ID. Yeah, assigned ID.
Assigned ID, where is it? Here it is.
Sijui kama ni ziko sama ni brackets.
Can we use this? Inakwanga in ya kutafuta range. Just ni I think ni several items, ama?
Yeah.
Is it which command should we use here?
Hiyo in.
So inside the quotes or inside the parentheses, ama?
Parentheses and then I think the next line.
Alafu tuna list user ID.
Yes.
Okay. One. Naandika nini?
Parentheses, I think the next line. Ama si hii tunaikanga
one.
30 na 34.
30 na 34. Is that all? I think hapa umetuambia tupate nini ya you should have a column of names, email address and the phone number for our top dogs. Sijui anamaanisha nini hapa. Does it mean that we should only return these nini? These are columns, ama?
I believe so.
Yeah, somehow.
Yeah, so let's return the nini. So hapo hivyo kwa query yetu tutailimit. I think instead of all we can use nani atatupatia ni nini tunafaa tuweke hapa. Is it inside the parentheses? Might just say select and then a comma, then I also add in the nini phone number, comma, and then at the email address. Is it so? My email address inaanza hapa. Ni hivyo?
Yes.
Okay. Is that all? Eve, is that all? Amekuwa hivyo, amekuwa nani anakuwa anaongea? Hata niko huko hivi sioni watu wanaongea. So I'm assuming everyone is Eve. And I'm sorry for that. So I've just assumed that is correct and then I've run. Then we've seen that people with that IDs is Bello Azibo, then Pili Zola, Rudo Imani. So we have their details here. So tume-identify hawa watu wenye walikuwa na bidii sana ni hawa watatu. These three people. Someone aweke hapo more explanation, deep explanation.
I have a question.
Yes, please.
Can you also return their assigned ID?
Yes. Oh, okay. You can as well, you can list as many as one. In fact, you can also near all. You can select, you can return everything. Assigned ID, you can see it matches, it tallies with what is here. So this is like at the primary, and then on the other one it was like at the secondary. So these are the ones that shows the relationship between those tables. So you can return anything, you can return even all. Let's just return all. Let me just run everything. Yeah, so tupatia more information hapa, the assigned ID, the employee's name and all that. So I think up to this point we are good. Ama any explanation, najua tuna learn from each other, so mtu anaweza kuwa na more idea hapo or explanation, then itasaidia watu wengine pia elewe more.
Peter, I want to say that when you also select all,
Yes.
it will display all the details.
Hati kufanya?
Or what you've done.
Oh, okay.
When you select all, yeah.
That's wonderful. Yeah, I'm assuming that we are good there. So I'll send that off to Press Naledi. But this survey is not primarily about our employees. So let's get working on the main task. We'll start looking at some of the tables in the data set at a larger scale, identify some trends, summarize important data, and draw insight. I think this just filler words there. So mtu atusomee nini this part?
Looking at the location table, let's focus on the province name, town name, and location type to understand where the water sources are in Majindogo. We create a query that counts the number of records per town. For example, if we count the number of records for each town, this is what he gets. Now count the records per province. I think we can do that.
Tumeelewa hii part. Mtu ataeleza hapo kwa layman terms tuelewe vizuri. So the first thing hapa hivyo anasema we look at this table ya location and then we shall focus on the province name, town name and the location type to understand where water sources are in Majindogo. So someone can quickly give us the command to do that. Mtatupatia command. Watu nalala. It's 10. By the mkichoka mnasema tu then we can reschedule.
I think you should select town name.
Select. So amesema hapa hivi tunatumia which one? Location table.
Yeah.
So let me open it ndio ni access haraka juu mimi type saa zingine naweza nikakuwa na type. So amesema town name.
Town name. Because we are to let me see.
It is
Looking at the province name.
Yeah.
Creating a counts. Yeah, count.
What count?
Yeah. Town name and then count.
Count.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Which count?
All. We can say all. Star.
Make
Count
a
star.
Or count. Yeah. And then a star.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Brackets. Hiyo star iko kwa brackets.
Mm-hmm.
As record count.
Record count in small.
Yeah.
Record count underscore count.
Yeah, underscore count.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Then they are from the location.
Location, comma manin.
From. No, we are done with that one. From.
Mm-hmm.
And then maybe from location.
Can you try to explain for us this code, please?
It states here kwa your document.
Mm-hmm.
It says in the document inasema kwamba create a query that counts the number of records per town.
Mm-hmm.
So what we are doing basically ni ya kwamba tuna select select town name from the location and then kutumia count function hiyo tuna count number of records in each town. And then we are supposed to group ndio tujue because hapa si inasema records per town.
A record per town.
Yeah, so mimi siko mzuri kwa explain but yeah.
Record per town. And then also after that
maybe because kwa hiyo nimeona pia kwa hiyo document ina order.
So
maybe
order.
Yeah, tunatumia order. We group first. Let us group. We group kwanza by town name, then we order.
By town name.
Yes. And then tunaiorder kwa record count.
Order by record count. Na record count iko wapi?
This one, the top one. Yeah. Yeah, that one.
But iko kwa nini table gani? This record count.
Sio ni alias, sio tumetengeneza town.
The alias. Okay.
And then descending order.
So Navy.
Yes. I think we are done.
Okay, let's run.
So create a query for that.
I see there's an error somewhere, but let me just run. I think there's an error. You have an error in your SQL syntax. You can...
Okay, the error is because we have assigned our record count as a temporary column, and as you know, temporary column are not recorded in the database. So we have to order by the count, the whole of count. Because the record count is a temporary column, so we cannot order by the record count.
So I use what?
So we use order by count.
Order by count. Count?
Yeah, the count we are counting, like the count asterisk. Yeah, asterisk.
Excuse me, before you type that, I've done that query on my side in Iran. I think what you can do is maybe on the record count you do records, because that is what I have on my end. I may display records underscore count. So it could be a typo.
But you
records.
Hivyo, records.
Nice.
Inatoka wapi try to explain for us this part. Hata hapa hivi kwa alias, niweke ni.
Hata hiyo.
Okay.
Naweza itoa.
gonna give us some insights here. Naweza kajaribu kuto give us more information about the results here, the codes and the results. Tumefanya nini? About to nini?
Can you access the first three we check against the output from the slides, please?
To do what?
Can we compare with what is in the slides? Because I think
Yes.
the reason why it has an output is because the order by we are using
Yes.
is the column we are using is existing in our table. It coincides, but in real, what we were supposed to do is to order by the aggregated column, which is now the count and the other one. So I think this one will output the results because the column is already in existence in our table. But what we should be doing is to order by the count of the. So that was a coincidence. That's why when you are using an alias, also make sure that you use something which is not existing in our tables. Yeah. So maybe we can confirm from the slides.
Let's just read these slides to elewa vizuri tu. So looking at the location table, let's focus on the province name, town name, and the location type to understand where the water sources are in Majindogo. So we are creating a query that counts the number of records per town. Per town. So I guess you've understood that. And then so hapa hivi mtu atuelezee vizuri this nini. Nani ameelezea, amekuwa anatuelezea vizuri, can continue nani? Is it Joseph or Amon?
Kenye nilikuwa nasema ni
yes.
We were ordering by we should be ordering by the aggregated column. In our case is just the result of the count.
Yeah.
And since the count is something which is not existing in our table, that's why we should use within the order by case. So we instead of the records count. The reason this one is giving results is because the column we are using to order is already existing in our table. So it gives the result. But now the question was you find the total number of records in a particular town. So it means if it exists like as individual, you order after you've grouped, and now that's why we are using we should use the count function within the order by case.
So hapa ndio tunaweka count.
Yes, the same one as the one above there yenye tumetumia ku aggregate.
So nitoa huko juu, niweka huko chini.
Yeah, just copy then we paste to up without the alias part.
Without the alias. So this alias nitoe.
No, usitoe. That one is just itakuwa in output sasa it's our temporary column in our output. You can just give it a different name so that is coincide na what is already in existence. Unaona yenye in exist in our table already tuko na records count. Yeah, unaweza ingine but umeitoa account mbona? Ilikuwa ukopi tu.
Niko copy tu.
Yeah.
Okay. Oi. So hata zingine. Hivyo?
Yeah.
And then so umesema nimetumia the same names. Ningetumia kitu kingine?
Unaweza itumia records per town or something.
Records
per town. Or something like that, yeah. Because already tuko na hiyo table, so yes, it's okay, but inaweza confuse someone. Yeah.
Sawa. So this is the output. So I think everyone has understood this part. Am I any
Not
information?
exactly. Good evening.
Ati?
Okay, I said good evening. Thank you so much for this. But I said I don't really understand. Why do we have to count all the columns? I don't understand that part. I don't know if you get my question.
Yeah, you see, for account function, we can use any column or all the columns, because what we are trying to do is to count the number of rows. It doesn't affect if you use all the columns or individual column. It's the same thing. So the asterisk represents all the columns, which is okay because we are not counting the columns, we are counting the rows. So you can use all the columns or just one for account, because it won't affect anything, because that particular function counts the number of rows. So I don't know if
Oh, does it mean here with us we have international people? I see most of the time you're using. I'm assuming that all people here are Kenyan. I'm not sure if that girl is a Nigerian or something, so that we know. Oh, so it means we have to stick to English, even though, yeah, for the interest of many.
So I don't know if you've understood.
Well, not exactly, but I don't want to drag us back.
Okay.
Okay, maybe to add, we can say one record is a tank, or maybe a water point, one water point. So we are trying to count the number of tanks in each town. So in this case, we can say the rural town has 23,740 tanks. So in this case, a tank is the record.
Okay.
So I think what I'll do, let me try to open, for example, this let me use this location icon, so that so you can see we have the location ID, column, address, but all the records we have the values in each record. So like in all the columns here, you can see we have the values. So even if you are counting from town name, it will give you the same results in the rows. Even use two columns, they have the same in rows, so the same rows. That's why when you use even the all, when you select all, the number of rows, they are still the same. They are still the same. These are around 60 whatever, 60,000. So we can't scroll to the end, but I can use this and you need to count. You know, they are the same. Even if you count a particular column, it will still have the same number of rows. Even if you count, yes. I think you have understood.
Yes.
Great, great.
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome. All right, so let's make this one a comment. I'm assuming people have understood that part. And yes, please.
So when we do that,
Yes.
wait a minute. Just before you continue, you can proceed. Let me just.
Okay. So we are at slide number 11 of 40. So, so here the results. Kilimani is 9510. Let's compare. Kilimani is something. Don't know. Or you can get Kilimani somewhere. We have something like that. It's not that important. 23, 740, 740.
I think the Kilimani is in the next query that you're supposed to do for provinces.
Oh yeah, for provinces. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, by that this is different. Oh, by that is a different slide. Sorry for that. So, and now count the records per province. So we now need to count the records per province. So again, someone to guide us on that. Per province, we were using the town name. Someone can guide us on the per province. the records per province?
Okay, I would say because we did the same thing for the town.
Yes.
Province will not be different. We'll just select province name and then. Yeah.
Since instead of town name, it will be province name.
Yes.
Okay. Province name, yeah. Is it so? Select province name. There's a comma somewhere. And then, so group by also here to change, right? Or can be, we should use as well the any province name. Because how? Is it okay?
Yeah, run it to see.
Change records per province.
Yes, yeah. Record per nini, per row. Records per row. Like that.
A province.
No, sorry. Per province. Province. I guess this is a spelling. Anything else? Iran. Wow, it has worked. And then I see Kilimani 9510, Akatasi it's 940. Let's check. Let's compare. Yeah. It's working. So it means that we are together up to this. As I believe everyone has understood this part. Does anyone have a question on that before we go to the next thing? By the way, the explanation for the other one is just similar to this one. So I don't think we can waste time on that, also for the interest of time. So someone can read for us here. It is already 11.
Let me read. Is there anyone who feels we should stop here, or do we continue?
We continue. What's wrong?
Okay. Let me read. From this table, it's pretty clear that most of the water sources in the survey are situated in small rural communities scattered across Majindogo. If we count the records for each province, most of them have similar number of sources, so every province is well represented in the survey. Can you find a way to do the following? Number 1, create a result set showing province name, town name, an aggregated count of records for each town. Consider naming these records per town. Ensure your data is grouped by both province name and town name. Order your results primarily by province name within each province. Further sort the towns by their record counts in descending order. Your table should look something like this.
Someone to summarize for us here in English. You see, we have a guest here, the international people here. So someone can try to illustrate or summarize for us so that we can digest the content there before we get to the MySQL workbench. Samuel?
Okay, yeah. So let me try explaining. Yes. So we are trying to create a query resulting of the following columns: the province name and the town name. And we want to aggregate these records for each town. And then we have to group our data into both province name and town name. So in this case, we can give an example of a town is found in a province. Like a province can have many towns.
Mm.
Okay. In this current situation, we can say a state and a city. Or for those from Nigeria, we can give an example of a state, a city within Lagos State. I don't know about Lagos, but I think we are trying to find all the records in a particular province based on towns and the province. So again, we have to order these results by their province names with how they appear, and each province has to be sorted by their record counts. So again, we are sorting these results by their counts in the descending order. I think I've tried explaining.
That's wonderful. So back to the code.
So maybe you can try decoding this line by line. So we first select the province name.
So select, let me use a capital. Select province name.
So we are all in this together. We are going together. So you will be helping in between.
Yes,
we select the province name, and then the next thing you are told to select is the town name.
The town name.
And then we aggregate the count of records for each town. So we aggregate the count of records for each town.
So we'll use a count.
Yeah, I think we use a count for the records for each town. So in this case, we can count maybe for the town name or the whole, right? I think we discussed and found out that there's no any effect. So, and then the next step we are told we consider naming this as records per town. So we can alias as the records per town.
Records per...
Okay, for those who are following, we are writing the query on a step by step. We are seeing in process 1, bullet number 3. So now we are heading over to bullet number 4. So we ensure our data is grouped by both province name and town name. So after we aggregate this count of records, now we have to group this data into both province name and town name. Bullet number 3, right? Oh, number 4, sorry, number 4. So we group.
Group.
Now, do we group first or we first select from? So I think we from first.
From.
Is it?
Yeah, I think from first. From the table.
Yeah, from the table. So our table is which one? Our table is
location.
The location, right? And then now we have to group everything. Now we are told ensure your data is grouped by both province name and town name. So we are grouping these records by the province name.
Province name?
Yeah, so we want to group everything by province name and town name. So if you put a comma, we need to work out, or we need to put the and.
Is the and?
Yeah, I think it's the and. So now we have actually finished step number 1. So we are in step number 2. So we have to order our results primarily by province name. So we order our results by the province name.
By province name?
Within each province. What does that mean, within each province? Further sort the towns by their record counts in descending order. Order.
What are we ordering? We are ordering. We are doing the order by province or a town. Is it province or a town?
The province name.
Province name. So it's okay.
Yeah, I think we are okay up to there. So The next task says, within each province, we further sort the towns by their record counts in descending order. So we further sort the towns by their record counts.
So,
Hey. Make some noise, other people, make some noise.
Make noise.
Make noise of God, make noise of God. Oh, we can try running that and see the...
Yeah.
I think you should include the first, what was it? Records by province, per province.
Records per province. So as
Yeah,
an alert,
we should include it because it says at the last, the second part, it says further sort the towns by records counts in descending order. Yeah, use the down there.
Hapa chini.
Yeah.
Again, another order by.
No. We just a continuation of that one. Maybe a comma and then that one. To say my records per province.
Records per province. That's the alias, or what is that?
I would say so.
Province or a town name. What are we?
I'm not sure, but I saw on the slides it says within each province. We would not use anything else other than the province. So further sort the towns by the records counts and
I think it's the count town name, the code that we've written up there.
Yes, upper, yes. So it should be what?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Maybe we use the count and then descend. Just select count and town name.
Select count and town name.
Yes, I'd say
I don't
that.
understand well. Which part am I modifying?
Maybe just take the records per town,
so
because
records,
it's an alias. Yeah.
So I write what?
Take it, just select it and then paste it down there.
Okay. So these alias I remove here, then I paste there at the bottom.
No. Don't remove it.
Mm-hmm.
Copy, paste. Yeah, something like that. Copy and then paste it down there.
Mm-hmm.
Remove the as.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then descending order.
Descending order. So another descending order.
So remove. No. I don't think the province name should be descending. It should be the other one. Remove the descending on the province name and then put it over there.
So there's a comma somewhere, or
yeah,
a comma.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I think we're done. Try running it.
Let's try. There's an error.
There's an error?
Yes.
Okay. Someone.
What if you try adding the and in between the order by province name and record per town? Maybe you can try that.
Okay. Like that.
There shouldn't be an and in group by. Try your and.
Mm-hmm. Or group by.
Hata hapo malineka, even there shouldn't be. Just put a comma.
Oh, okay. Supposed to be a comma.
Okay.
Yeah, put a comma, remove the and, put a comma after province name.
I like that.
Make some noise.
Mm-hmm. We are good. Nijaribu tena. Try again. Wow, it has worked.
Wow, the noise has helped.
The noise has helped us. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
give us some insights here and some meaning.
Okay, so what we have actually conducted, we have grouped the towns by the province, and now we are counting each water location, or in this case, the record. Let's remember the record is like a water point, like we can say a tank or maybe a normal water point. We have grouped each water point in towns, and these towns can be aggregated to form a province. So let me give an example. In Nairobi, we have different, what are they called, sub-counties. So we can say Akati is Nairobi. So Nairobi has Westlands, maybe Parklands, all those sub-counties. In this case, the sub-counties can be matched to the town names. We can say Westlands is the rural, and then this Westlands has a number of water points. In this case, the water points are the records per town. So if Akatsi is Nairobi, the next province, in this case Amanzi is Mombasa. Mombasa, the same case applies, has different sub-counties. In this case, the sub-counties are the town names. So, and these sub-counties have different water points. In this case, the water points are the records per town. So I think I've tried.
Yeah, that's a very profound explanation. So just like what they said there, we group. Actually, this is the data. For example, this is Akatas. You can see we have. Let's use Amanzi. You can see Amanzi. It has several towns. Like it has Rural, Asmara, the Habu, and all that. So we can see we have several towns within Amanzi, and then we have some towns. Like this is the province. Then we have towns inside there. These are province, and then they say that we arrange in a descending. Like for example, you can see for Amanzi, the highest descending is like from top to bottom. So Amanzi, you can see the highest head that 100. Then at the least was 400. Then in another town, Hawassa, it has several this province, Hawassa province, and then in that province has several towns like Aruro and all that. And then also we sorted or sorted by descending, so it goes from top, that 900, then at the least is 270. So just like what Samuel has explained, I believe people have understood. In case there's a question, you can ask. Otherwise, we can go to the next slide. Let us see. That 100. So I believe we are done there. Your table should look something like this. Akatasi, let's check. Akatasi 62, 90, 62, 90. Yeah, it's okay. So si mtu atusomea hapo hivyo, tuendelea haraka.
These results show us that our field surveyors did an excellent job of documenting the status of the country's water crisis. Every province and town has many documented sources. This makes me confident that the data we have is reliable enough to base our decisions on. This is an insight we can use to communicate data integrity. So let's make a note of that. So this is just filler information. Finally, look at the number of records for each location.
So how do you go about that? So finally, look at the number of records for each location, number of records of each location. Can someone try to explain to us what does this part mean? Oh, it's number of records, not location. So yeah, it's number of records for each location type. Location type, I guess. Yeah, got location type. Location type. So let's read again. Finally, look at the number of records for each location type. The number. I think someone to help us there. Just to do a count there.
I think we are doing the same thing. Count.
Oh, we've done that.
Yeah, not really, let's say, but it's almost the same thing. We have done for the record, for the town name and the province name.
Yeah, so there's no need to explain that, sindio, si tutakuwa tunajirudia.
Yeah.
So let's read this part. Let me try to nini ziko mingi. Oh, it's too much. Ukisha tamaza leo. Deadline Monday. Someone to read for us ama sijui tutafanyaje. Someone to guide us from there. Are we together? Niko live?
Tuko.
Kimenyamaza aje?
We can see that there are more rural sources than urban, but it's really hard to understand those numbers. Percentages are more relatable. If you use SQL as a very overpowered calculator, we select the rural amount, we divide it by the urban amount, divide it by the rural and the urban amounts multiplied by 100. We can see that 60% of all the water sources in the data set are in rural communities. So again, what are some of the insights we gained from the location table? Number one, our entire country was properly canvassed and our data set represents the situation on the ground. Number two, 60% of our water sources are in the rural communities across Majindogo. We need to keep this in mind when we make decisions.
But before we proceed, there's these things we are doing questioned in the MCQs. Unyamepitia MCQ. Hizi vitu zenye tunapitia hapo hivi ndio ziko questioned huko hivi ama is something new. I was thinking for the interest of time we can try to go through the MCQs alafu hizi naona zitakuwa slides mingi then we can create another discussion sasa tupitie hizi to analyze vizuri venye hawa tunasema, but in the meantime to meet your deadline to mazana na the assignments and then najua I guess juu naona inaelekea saa 6 we can consider doing this if it's questioned. If it's questioned, then we can proceed. If not, then we can just try to go to the new questions all together, and then using any other slides, we can create another time, then we go to each step by step, because also understanding how to query this information is very, very important. Yes, I think at the rate at which you are using, it's very, very slow. Don't know if it makes sense.
Yes, I agree.
So when should we do it again?
Yes?
When should we have the next meeting? Tomorrow?
I think tomorrow it could be better. I don't know if people go to church, or perhaps in the evening.
The deadline is on Monday. Yeah, it's on a Monday.
Yes. I think what
Are
we can
doing
do.
the MCQ now?
Yes?
Are we doing the MCQ now?
I was thinking the same. We should do the MCQ so that that part of assignment we sort it out as we try to understand, because I believe if it's not questioned on the MCQs, we can do the MCQs. Then this other one we can just go through it another time, because I think it's 14. We are at 14 and the time is 11:29. So it means we can go even up to 4 in the morning, or it could take a lot of time, and perhaps if it's not questioned on the MCQs, we can just go through the MCQs so that people know what's the answers there, or what's needed there. And then this other one, tunaendelea nazo baadaye, we can continue with it later, for example, because also understanding how to query Nini is very, very important. But in the meantime, I was thinking that it's good, first of all, we sort out the MCQs. We are done with that part, and then so this one will be freestyle, so that we can just do it anytime. But I suggest that we must complete this part, but I believe not today due because of time. This is just my thoughts.
That's okay.
Okay. So I think let's use this time before we get exhausted, and do it. And so I'll create notepad. Let's just do that now, and then hizi zingine juu naona tutamaliza, will not finish it today. So I'll be typing here the questions, and then the answers, and then nitawatumia, or we'll look on how we can go about that. So let's just go straight away to the I'm not sijui mbona ni redirect back kwa nini. My deadline is 24th. Is it 23rd or 24th? Due date. Okay. I think that let's just go through these questions. Alafu hiyo ingine tutakuwa nazipitia freestyle tu hata kesho. By the kesho tukikuwa determine, najua leo tumeanza na we began with the understanding how to link MySQL with the notebook and all that. I think that's the reason it took us time. But I think if we meet tomorrow, we can finish if we begin early. So let's just go through this haraka. Let's go through this just, I don't know, this notebook in particular layout poor. Let me use WPS. Home. Just want to create somewhere a new blank. Yeah, but if we have the the people here, so sijui kama tunafanya the right thing or the MCQ. By the way, tuna record. Should I stop recording this part?
You can stop recording.
Okay, let me just stop so that wasinitafute. What? Yeah,
So-
let me. Yes.
If you are from the ALX official team, you can raise up your hand, please.